In this video, we're going to be looking at binomial theorem, and this is part 1. And before we go into the main theorem, we'll look at what is called the Pascal's triangle, right? Which is a guide to help you link the values of the coefficients of an expansion together. And generally, you should know that an expansion generally is given by a plus b to the power n, or sometimes could be x plus y to the power n. So what's this Pascal's triangle all about? It gives you an idea. It gives you the values you could use to determine terms in an expansion. So it all starts like this. You have 1 and then 1 1 and then 1 and then 2 and then you bring down 1 and then you start from here. 1 plus 2 3, 2 plus 1 3, and then you bring down 1, then 1 1 plus 3 4, 3 plus 3 6, 3 plus 1 4, and then you bring down 1 1 again, then 1 plus 4 is 5, and then 10, and then 10, and then 5, and then 1. You get? So it keeps increasing, right? So what happens here is that how does this, the question now is, how can this help us to get the terms of an expansion? For example, let's say that we have x plus y all squared. X plus y all squared is equal to what? X plus y into x plus y. Do you grab? So on multiplying it, what are you now going to get? X times x is what? X squared times, then plus y times x, that is xy, then this times this, that's still another xy, and then y times y, that's y squared. So what can you see here now? If you then simplify the expression, you see that you're going to have x squared plus 2xy, right, plus y squared. So now what do you notice here? You can see that the coefficients here are 1, coefficient here is 2, and then you have 1, which is in accordance with the Pascal's triangle, 1 2 and 1. But remember, I said it gives you a link to the coefficient, because if, for example, what was given to you to expand is 2x plus y to the power 2, you won't say that the coefficients of the expansion will be 1 2 and 1, right? It's just that in this case you have just 1x and then 1y. So how does this help us get the values? Let's say you are asked in the CBT exam to write out the expansion of the terms of 3 plus 2x to the power 3. What are you going to, according to the Pascal's rule, you have 1 1 1 1 2 1 1 3 3 1. So at this level, right? So what you are going to do here is that you're going to have 1 into what? 3 to the power 3, and then times 2x to the power 0. Now where is this coming from? This is the normal thing that happens. It's just that in the first case we just had x plus y, that is 1x and 1y. But in this case now you can see that what is given to you is 3 plus 2x. So you have to be very careful. So what happens is that these terms in this triangle, which is 1 3 3 and 1, you can get the expansion by simply doing what? Multiplying 1 by what? 3 to the power 3, because you know generally in an expansion, this value here, I hope you're not confused, this value here, you have x plus y all squared, and it gave us what? X squared plus 2xy plus y squared. And now if you notice this stuff carefully, you see that the power of x is gradually decreasing while the power of y is what? Increasing. How can I write it? I can say x squared y 0 plus what? 2x1 y1 plus what? y2 x0. So you can see that the power of x is what? Is decreasing, starting from the highest power. So that's the same thing I'm doing here. So that's why I'm doing 3 to the power, which is of this highest power right here, and then to now be what? 2x0, because this is the starting point, then plus 3, which is the next term in this triangle, multiplied by what? 3 to the power what? To be, you can see that the power of 3 is gradually decreasing. Then what will be the next? 2x to the power what? 1. You can now see that this 2x0 has now increased to what? 2x1. Then plus, what's the next term in the triangle? 3. So it will be 3 into what? 3, which is this term here, to the power what? 1 is decreasing, multiplied by 2x to the power what? 2. I don't understand what's happening. So I can see that these powers are summing up to 3. Then you can see that the last term is what? 1. So that will be 1 into what? 3 to the power 0. Then 2x to the power what? 3. Very simple. And then at the end of the day, what will you then have? 3 to the power 3 is what? 27 times 1, because you should note, very importantly in this course, that a to the power 0 is equal to 1, where a is not equal to 0. Do you understand? So 3 to the power 3 is 27, 2s to the power 0 is 1. So it will be 27 plus, then this is 3 times what? 3 squared, abi? So that will be 3 times, 3 squared is 9 times 3, that's 27, times 2, that's 54x. Do you agree? Then plus 3 times 3 is 9. Then you must be very careful when you are opening brackets here. Don't make the mistake of writing 2x squared as your expansion. Whatever is inside the bracket is squaring everything. So 2 squared is what? Is 4. So 2x all squared is 4x squared. Then times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9 times 4 what? That's 36x squared. Plus 2x to the power 3. What is it? Is what? 8x3. Do you get? Then times this 3, that is what? 24x3. And this is your answer. That is the expansion. So now all these things now is leading to the binomial theorem, because you can now get to a point where this Pascal triangle will now be very stressful. You have to build up ladder things that would actually waste your time. I know that this is a CBT exam. Do you understand? So now, and one practical way you could use to understand this binomial theorem, because I mentioned the theorem now very soon, is that let's consider you now as a friend A, and then you have B, and you have two objects. Do you understand? Let's say a Maths 101 textbook. Please pay attention. I just want you to get this right. And then you now have a pen. And then you are holding these two materials, a Maths 101 textbook and a pen. And then we are now, this binomial theorem is just discussing the possible ways of sharing. So what are the possible things that can happen? It's either now you will now have two combinations 0, then x, sorry, a, in this case now a to the power what? 2, and then b to the power 0. So what is this case saying, telling us? It's either you, which is a, will hold those two properties, Maths 101 textbook and pen, and you hold it. Then your friend, who is b, is holding nothing. Is it not possible? And the number of ways that your friend can choose two, this is two combinations 0, is what? Is 1. Because if you have two things, the number of ways of sharing it, what's it going to give you? We are getting to combination, so it keeps increasing. 2 combination 1. So it's either this your friend will select 0 things, 0 objects, and then you still have 2, isn't it? And then your friend will have nothing. Or your friend, out of those 3 things you have, he will now select 1. Do you understand? What will now happen? You will have 1 and your friend will have what? 1. Are you following? Or out of those 2 things, your friend will collect those 2, which is the Maths 101 textbook and the pen. Are you following? And then to be a to the power 0, because that's a to the power 2 minus 2. That means you have nothing, and then your friend would have collected those 2 properties. Do you understand? So that is just what this is all about. So now let me state, before I go to stating the binomial theorem, I want you to be able to expand this stuff using the binomial expansion. So let's say we are giving this in the exam, 1 minus 3x squared to the power 4. I want you to use the Pascal's triangle to be able to get the terms of this expansion. Please do that. Have you paused the video? Right. So from the Pascal's triangle, we have 1 1, we have 1 2 1, right? We have 1 3 3 1, we have 1 4 6 4 1. Are you following? So what we are concentrating on is here. So what do we do? 1 into what? What do we have here? 1 to the power what? 4. Because you can have the fourth power, and then negative 3x squared to the power what? 0. Plus, this is what? 4 into what? Now this power of 1, which is 4, will now decrease to what? 3 into what? Negative 3x squared to the power what? What is it? 1. Then plus what? What's the next? 6 into what? The power of 1 will decrease again to what? 2 into negative 3x squared. Do you understand? Then plus, what's the next? 4, isn't it? Into what? 1 to the power what? That's 1 to the power 1, right? And then negative 3x squared to the power 3 plus what? The last, which is what? 1 into what? 1 to the power 0, negative 3x squared to the power what? 4. That is it. And then we've gotten your expansion. So when you expand it, and then when you simplify the variables that are there, that is what you will get. Do you understand? So now let's go to the binomial theorem. I hope no confusions, right? Let's go to the binomial theorem. Now, what does the binomial theorem say? It says that for x plus y to the power n is equal to the summation from k equal to 0 to n of n choose k multiplied by x to the power n minus k y to the power k. You don't see this thing as complex, right? When you hear the word summation, I will explain what it is now. Sorry for this. That's n combination k x to the power n minus k y to the power k. So it is very important for you to note that you can put n and k in parentheses and it's still equivalent to what? N combination k. And it is very important for you to be able to know how to calculate combination, right? You don't know how to go and study and then watch videos that would help you. So now n combination k is equal to what? N factorial over n minus k factorial k factorial. I follow. And then you should know that n factorial is simply n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 down to what? Times 3 times 2 times 1. It's not difficult. So let's say you are asked to find 5 factorial. What is 5 factorial? 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. 5 times 4 is what? 20 times 3, 60 times 2. That's 120. That is 5. So can you tell me what 4 factorial is? Pause and attempt. What is it? So it's what? 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. 4 times 3, 12 times 2 is what? 24. And then it is also very important to note in this expansion that 0 factorial is what? 1. And this idea came from where? You know that I said n factorial is equal to what? N into n minus 1 into n minus 2 down to what? 3 times 2 times 1. Now this n factorial can still be written as what? N factorial into n is equal to n into n minus 1 what? Factorial. Because n minus 1 factorial will be what? N minus 1 into n minus 2 into n minus 3. Still the same thing. So you can even cut short a factorial, but you are just like re-expressing it. For example, if you have 6 factorial, you can decide to say 6 times 5 times 4 factorial. It's still the same thing. You can decide to say 6 times 5 factorial. It still means the same thing. So if we divide through by n, I'm just trying to explain why 0 factorial is 1. And then you have n factorial over n is equal to what? N minus 1 factorial. So if we substitute n as 1 in this, what will you have? 1 factorial over 1 is equal to what? 1 minus 1 factorial. 1 factorial is 1. Because that's 1, right? And then that means that 1 factorial, which is 1 over 1, is equal to 1 minus 1, which is what? 0 factorial. And that is the value of 0 factorial. So when you are solving and then you have 0 factorial, you should know that 0 factorial is equivalent to what? Is equal to 1. Are you following? Then another important thing to note here is, okay, let's take a question. If you are asked to find 8 combination 3, don't waste time. Is what? 8 factorial over 8 minus 3 factorial 3 factorial. And that will be what? 8 factorial. 8 minus 3 is what? 5 factorial what? 3 factorial. You know we are writing CBT, so the simplest way to go about it is to break this 8 factorial down so that this will cancel. And you can write this 8 factorial as what? 8 times what? 7 times 6 times 5 factorial. You cannot decide to stop here Are you following? Then that's 5 factorial, 3 factorial. Then this 5 factorial can cancel 5 factorial. Is it not? Then you should know what is 3 factorial? Is what? 3 times 2 times 1, which is what? 6. So you can replace, you can write this as 6. Then this cancels this. 8 times 7 is what? Is what? Is 56. Do you understand? So now how does this apply? How does this apply if you are asked in the exam? If you are asked to find the nth term of an expansion, that's what we are looking at now. Nth term of an expansion. So this is a past question I'm about to write down now, and it says find the fifth term in the expansion of x squared plus 1 over x squared to the power of 10. X squared plus 1 over x squared to the power 10. So how do you do this? Now, if you have been following, you see what I said about this binomial expansion over here. This is the theorem. So what does this stuff mean? It means that starting from k equal to 0, that is why from my other illustrations I say I will now do n combination 0, and then I now have x raised to power what? N minus 0, y to the power what? 0 plus n combination 1. That means from the summation of n combination k times x to the power n minus k times y to the power k, from x equal to 0 from k equal to 0 to what? K equal to n. That means till the last point. That is why at the end of the day you will now have, if it's to the power 3, so now be 3 combination 3. So what is the idea here? If you are asked to find the fifth term, so if the first term is associated with n combination 0, second term is what? N combination 1, n combination 2, n combination 3, 1 2 3 4. That means fifth term will be what? N combination 4. So don't make the mistake of doing 10 combination 5 to find the fifth term, because all these things is starting from 0. Do you understand? So let's say you have 10 objects to share, and then they are holding 10 objects, and then they are now looking for this, for what? The fifth term of those possibilities. You know, I used a real life expression to explain it. So in terms of the first one, if you have 10 objects, what happens is either you would hold those 10 objects and your friend will not collect any. That would be what? Do you understand? Or out of those 10, your friend will select 1. Out of those 10, you select 3. If you have 10 and your friend selects it, that means you have 7. That is why it will now be 10 combination 3 x squared to the power of 7. So now how does this apply here now? So if you have x squared plus 1 over x squared to the power of 10, and you are asked for the fifth term, what will you have? 10 combination 4. What comes next? X squared to the power of what? 10 minus 4 multiplied by what? 1 over x squared to the power of what? 4. Are you getting it? That is to the power of what? 10, that is this minus this, and then 1 over x squared to the power of this. That is what this law, this theorem said now. X to the power of n minus k times what? Y to the power of what? K. That's what we're applying here. So 10 combination 4 will give us, that will be 10 combination 4 multiplied by what? X squared to the power of what? 10 minus 4 is what? 6, isn't it? Multiplied by 1 over what? X squared to the power of what? 4. Are you getting it? So from here now, you have 10 combination 4, x squared to the power of 6, that will be x to the power 2 times 6, which is what? 12. And then 1 over x squared to the power 4. 1 to the power 4 is what? That's 1. And then x squared to the power 4, that's x squared to the power 4. 2 times 4 is what? 8. So that's x8. So x12 divided by x8 is what? That will be 10 combination 4. And then using division law of indices, what will you have? X to the power 12 minus 8, which is 10 combination 4 x to the power what? 4. This can be a possible option because You know, we are not using calculators to write this exam. You won't use calculators to write. So, or if they now want you to solve it, if you now want to get the value of 10 combination 4, what will it be? 10 factorial over what? 10 minus 4 factorial 4 factorial. What is that equal to? 10 factorial over 10 minus 4 is what? 6 factorial 4 factorial. And then we can break it down to what? 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 factorial over 6 factorial 4 factorial. This cancels this, right? And you know that 4 factorial is what? 24. 8 into itself, 1. 8 into 24, 3. This 3 into itself will give you what? 1 divided by 9. That's 3. 7 times 3 is what? 21 times 10. That is what? 210. So your final answer can also be 210 x to the power what? 4. And that is the fifth term of the expansion. Now I want you to solve this. If this came out in the exam, what will be your response? If you have 2x negative 3y to the power 4, and the examiner says find the fourth term, what will be your response? Okay, pause and attempt. So it will simply be what? 4 combination 3. Don't make the mistake of doing 4 combination 4, because you started that 0, 1, 2, 3. This is the first, this is the second, this is the third, and this is what? 4. So 4 combination 3 into what? 2x to the power what? 4 minus 3 multiplied by what? Negative 3y. Don't forget the minus to the power what? This same 3. Are you following? So what is 4 combination 3? 4 factorial over 4 minus 3 is what? That's 1 factorial 3 factorial times 2x to the power 4 minus 3 is what? 1. Abi? And then multiply by negative 3y to the power 3. Negative 3 to the power 3 is what? Negative 27. And then y to the power 3 will give us y to the power 3. Right? And what's 4 factorial over 1 factorial 3 factorial? You can break it down to what? 4 times 3 factorial over what? 1 factorial 3 times 3 factorial times 2x times what? Negative 27y cubed. So you can see that this can cancel this. 1 factorial is 1. So you now have 4 times 2x times negative 27y cubed. 4 times 2 is what? 8. Right? That's 8x times negative 27y cubed. So what's 27 times 8? That's 65. 8 times 2, 16. That's what? Negative 216xy cubed. And that is the fourth term of the expansion. Alright, so this is I'll take another question on this based on this finding nth term. And what I'll say is this: 4x minus 1 over 3 to the power 4. If you're asked find the second term, pause this video and attempt, please. Pause and attempt. If you're asked to find the second term, what will it be? Have you paused it? Okay, so it will be 4 combination 1. Because it's 4 combination 0 is the first term, while 4 combination 1 is what? The second term. Because from that theorem it says what? The summation from k equal to 0. So 4 combination 1 times what? 4x to the power what? 4 minus 1 multiplied by what? Negative 1 over 3 to the power what? 1. This same 1. You get? So what's 4 combination 1? 4 factorial over what? 4 minus 1 factorial 1 factorial times what? 4x to the power 4 minus 1 is what? 3 minus 1 over 3. Are you getting it? So what's that now going to be? That will be 4 factorial. 4 minus 1 is 3. That's 3 factorial 1 factorial multiplied by 4 to the power 3 is what? That's 64x cubed negative 1 over what? 3. So 4 factorial can be broken down as what? 4 times 3 factorial over 3 factorial. 1 is 1. 1 factorial is 1. So this cancels this. Times 64x cubed times what? Minus 1 over 3. So what would that now be? 4 times 64 is what? 256 times minus 1. That will be negative 256x cubed over 3. That gives you the what? The second term of the expansion. Do you understand? So that's how it works, right? So I believe you should be able to solve any question that comes across. They say find the sixth term. If maybe this is what you saw, 1 plus 3s to the power 8. Can you find the sixth term if it comes to an exam? Can you find it? So if they ask you what's the sixth term of this expansion, what will you say? It will be what? Not what? 8 combination 5 times what? 1 to the power what? 8 minus 5 multiplied by what? 3x to the power what? 5. So in exam, right? Or you could find the value if maybe it's an essay question. Then like a CBT exam, you may not be able to have the time to be solving all this. So you know that 3x to the power 5 will give you what? 3 to the power 5 is 243. So the answer may just be 243, right? 8c5 x to the power what? 5, because that's 243 multiplied by x c5 multiplied by what? X to the power 5. That is the what? That's the sixth term. Very simple. I should be able to find the value of 8 combination 5 by now, isn't it? Then the next important thing for the course part 1 is coefficient of x. You should be able to get it. I don't expect you to fail any question on it. Must be very vigilant. If you're asked for coefficient of, because it changes, varies, right? Varies depending on the examiner. So how do you answer it? So let's say you're giving this in the exam and it says find the coefficient of x4 in the expansion of 3x plus 1 to the power 6. If this question comes to you, first of all, you must understand the meaning of coefficient. If you have a term and they say what's the coefficient of x, it means what are those values around x that have nothing to do with x. For example, if we have 60x and you're asked what's the coefficient of x in 60x, it's what? 60. So that's what they're testing here. So if you're asked for the coefficient of x4, you apply the same principle to both 6 combination k, because you don't know the value of k for which it will now lead to x4. So it will be 6 combination k, and you should not waste time with this. This is not theory that you start solving as if they gave you an essay question. 6 combination k, what will now happen? 3x to the power what? 6 minus k. This is the principle because k is unknown. Do you understand? K is unknown. What you are looking for is x4. They didn't tell you to start expanding it. If you start expanding using Pascal's principle to now find the one that has x4, you waste your time. So you need to know that value of k that will give you a coefficient that give you a term that contains x4. Are you following? So 6 combination k, 3x to the power what? 6 minus k multiplied by what? 1 to the power k. Is that not the principle? So don't bother yourself about 6 combination k. Your focus is look at anything that concerns x. So if you simplify this, it will be 6 combination k, and then if you want to open this, it will be 3 to the power what? 6 minus k, x to the power what? 6 minus k. 1 to the power any value k is what? Is still 1. So what you should put your focus on is what? This. So this x to the power 6 minus k now, you will now equate it to what? X to the power 4. Are you following? If 6 minus k is equal to 4, what is k? It's simply what? 6 minus 4, which is what? 2. So what you should, all these things is what I'm explaining now. If it's an exam, you don't waste time. So you've gotten k as 2, so you simply go back and then write 6 combination 2, 3x to the power what? 6 minus 2. Are you following? Which is what? 4. And then 1 to the power what? 2. Are you getting it? So 6 combination 2 will give you 6 factorial over 4 factorial 2 factorial, then times 3x to the power 4. 3 to the power 4 is what? Is 81. Then times x raised to the power 4. Are you following? Now what is 6 combination 2? You can break this down now as what 6 times 5 times 4 factorial over 4 factorial 2 factorial. This cancels this. 2 factorial is 2 because that's 2 times 1. So 2 factorial into itself 1, then divided by here, that would be 3. Because 6 divided by 2 is 3. Then times 5 is what? That's 15. So what will be the final answer? To be what? 15 times 81 times what? X4. So what's 15 times 81? We calculate the value of 15 times 81. I think you should be expecting 1215 as your value. Right? If you're multiplying, multiply fast. Because no calculator. So that is, so if you are now asked what is the coefficient of X4, what is it? 1215. Very simple. Very simple. Once you get the value of K, your job is done. So now with what I just taught, use that principle. After I write the question, pause it and find the coefficient of X4 in 1 minus 3x squared to the power 4. Find coefficient of X4. Have you paused the video? It's for your own good. So find the coefficient of X4. So if you're asked this, what would it be? 4 combination what? K. 1 to the power what? 4 minus K. Negative 3x squared to the power what? K. Very simple. So anything that contains x, bring it together. Are you following? So this will be 4 combination K. Once per any number is 1, we don't even care about it. So you can now break this down as negative 3 to the power K multiplied by what? X squared to the power what? K, which is the same thing as x raised to the power 2k. So you now compare what? X raised to the power 2k with what? X equal to 4. Equal basis, right? That means 2k is equal to 4. That means k is equal to 4 over 2, which is what? 2. So what will it now be? 4 combination 2, 1 to the power what? 4 minus 2, multiplied by negative 3x squared to the power what? 2. Are you getting it? Because it's this same term that will be raised on this side. So 4 combination 2 is what? 4 factorial over 2 factorial 2 factorial. 1 to the power 2 is what? 1. Negative 3x squared, must be very careful here. If a negative number is squared, you will have what? A positive. So negative 3x squared is what? 9 times what? X squared all squared is what? Is x4. Are you getting it? So what's 4 factorial over 2 factorial 2 factorial? That will be what? 4 times what? 3 times 2 factorial over 2 factorial 2 factorial. That will be what? This cancelling this. 2 factorial is 2. So 2 into itself 1. Oh, you have 6. Are you getting it? So that's 6 times 9 times x4. 6 times 9 times x4. That's what? 36x4. So if they're asking us, what's the coefficient? Is what? 36. Very, very simple. Are you getting it? Okay, that's the answer to the question. Let's look at more complicated stuff that could appear before you, and I don't want you missing it. So suppose you were asked, this is a past question, and it says coefficients of x squared y10 in the expansion of 3x minus y squared to the power of 7. So what happens here? You're asked what's the coefficient, and option A 20187, option B negative 5103, option C 945, option D negative 189. This is a past question, must know one. So how do you tackle this? Same principle. Don't get scared. So it's 7 combination what? K. Your goal is to ensure that the highest power of x is what? 2, and the highest power of y is what? 10. And once you get one, is done, because everything about this expansion is always uniform, is always connected, because the sum of the powers must equal the what? Must equal the n, which is in this case it was raised to the power 7. So n 7 combination k, 3x to the power what? 7 minus k, multiplied by what? Negative y squared to the power what? K. Do you understand? So once you get from x, your goal is what? X squared y 10. You don't even need to come to this side. If you come from either ways, you still get it, but doing the both of them, you're just wasting your time because everything will still give you the same answer. So this negative y squared to the power k is the same thing as negative y to the power what? 2k. Are you following? So what then happens is equal to what? We are not concerned about the negative. What we are concerned about is y. So we can even take this minus back. Is equal to what? Y to the power 10. So that means 2k is equal to what? 10. That means k is equal to what? Is equal to 5. Even if we move to this place now, which is 7 combination k 3x to the power 7 minus k, can still be broken down as what? 3 to the power 7 minus k x to the power what? 7 minus k. And what's the coefficient of x? 2. If 7 minus x is equal to 2, if 7 minus k is equal to 2, what is k? Is it not 5? So once you get 1, don't stress yourself. So we now have 7 combination 5. Sorry. 7 combination 5. 3x to the power what? 7 minus 5 multiplied by what? Negative y squared to the power what? 5. That's it. 7 combination 5 is what? 7 factorial over 3 factorial 5 factorial. That will be 3x. 7 minus 5 is what? 2. Negative y squared to the power 5 is negative y 10. Because minus 1 to the power 5 is still minus 1, right? So we'll still bring down the minus. So that will be minus y. 2 times 5 is what? 10. Very good. So what's 7 combination 5? You should have solved it by now. It will be 7 times 6 times 5 times 4. We can even stop here. We can stop at 7 times 6 times 5 factorial. Because you know that 3 factorial is 6. Do you understand? So that this will just cancel. Right? Are you getting it? This let's be guided. This is 7 factorial over 3 factorial 5 factorial. So we can now break this down as what? 7 factorial over 7 minus 5 is what? 2 factorial. That's where the mistake came from. And then you have what? 5 factorial. Right? So you can write it as 7 times 6 times what? 5 factorial over 2 factorial 5 factorial. So this cancels this. So 6 divided by 2 give you what? 3. 3 times 7 is what? It's 21. Are you getting it? So that's 7 combination what? 5. So 21 multiplied by 3 squared is what? 3x all squared is what? 9. Isn't it? So that's 9x squared multiplied by negative y to the power 10. Still the same thing. You get? So 21 times 9 is what? 189. Right? So take this minus back. That'll be negative 189 x squared y 10. And what's the coefficient? Minus 189. Correct answer is option D. Do you understand? Very good. So with what I have taught you, please, I want you to solve this. Coefficient of x6 y5 in the expansion of 2x plus 3y to the power of 11. Nothing is difficult. 11 combination what? K. 2x to the power what? 11 minus k. Into what? 3y to the power k. Compare it with what? x6 y5. That means the highest power of x should be what? 6. And the highest power of y should be 5. So you can break down, forget about all this combination here. It will be 2 to the power 11 minus k, x to the power what? 11 minus k. You get? You don't need to do any other thing again. So you can just compare 11 minus k with what? So you can simply be written as x to the power 11 minus k should be equal to what? X to the power 6. And if 11 minus k is equal to 6, what is k? K is what? 11 minus 6, which is what? 5. So hurriedly is a time exam. It will be what? 11 combination 5. And what were the two members involved? 2x to the power what? 11 minus 5. 2x to the power 11 minus 5 multiplied by what? 3y to the power 5. Are you getting it? So it will be 11 combination 5, 2x to the power 6, and then 3y to the power 5. So it will be 11 combination 5. 2 to the power 6 is what? 64. X 6. 3 to the power 5 is what? 243. Y 5. So in exam, they may just give you this, because for you to start multiplying this is tedious. So 11 combination 5 times 64 times, see the same thing, times 243, and then have x6 y5. So if you ask in exam what's the coefficient, this will be the answer. 11 combination 5 times what? 64 times what? 243. You have answered the question. I hope you are getting what I'm explaining. Now let's look at this question, which involves fractions and stuff like that. And the question said coefficient is also a past question. Coefficient of x cubed in 2x minus 3 over x to the power 3. If I ask the same principle, don't be afraid when you see fractions. It will be 3 combination k, 2x to the power what? 3 minus k, negative 3 over x to the power what? K. Are you getting it? So what we have to find? Coefficient of x cubed. But you must ensure that, because if you look at what we have been doing since, you can notice that the x and the y, they were on one side, isn't it? But in this case, you can see that each component is sharing x. Do you understand? So don't hurriedly make the mistake of doing x to the power 3 minus k and comparing with x cubed. You will not get it, because there is another x here. So what will you have? 3 combination k multiplied by, if you simplify this, it will be 2 to the power 3 minus k, x to the power what? 3 minus k. Pay attention. Then if you want to simplify negative 3 over x to the power k to be what? Negative 3 to the power k over what? X to the power k. That's why it's important for you to know the laws of indices. Division law now. That will be x to the power 3 minus k divided by x to the power k. It will be what? X to the power 3 minus k minus k. Are you getting it? That will be x to the power 3 minus what? 2k. Are you getting it? So that means at the end of all this, on simplifying k, you just compare x to the power of 3 minus 2k, because nothing else contains x in all of this. And now equal to what? X to the power 3. And if 3 minus 2k should be equal to 3, what is k? This negative 2k will cross over, right? So 3 minus 3 is equal to 2k. That means 0 is equal to 2k. That means k is what? 0. You hurriedly flash, you move, and then we only have 3 combination 0, and then we have 2x to the power what? 2x to the power 3 and what? Negative 3 over x, right? To the power what? 0. Are you getting it? So what will it be? 3 combination 0 is very important for you to know that n combination 0, for all n that exists, n combination 0 is what? Is what? 1. Right? N combination, because why? N factorial over what? N minus 0 factorial 0 factorial. N minus 0 is n. That's what? This cancels the 0 factorial is 1. So don't need to stress yourself. So that will be 1 times 2x to the power 3. 2 to the power 3 is what? 8. That will be 8. X to the power 3, that's what? X cubed. Negative 3 over x to the power 0. Any number except 0 raised to 0 is what? 1. So what are you having? 8x cubed. So what's the coefficient of x cubed? Simply what? 8. And that is it. Are you following? If you're not following, please do well too. I hope you're following. My number is on the screen. If you have questions that relate to this, do well to contact me. Alright. Then lastly, what we'll be looking at in this video is how to find the term independent of x. These are a very important. If they don't say independent of x, what you see is what? Constant term. You find out that there are sometimes you expand something and you see that there's a term that does not have x in it. For example, if you expand, if I tell you to expand x plus 2 all squared, what will it give you? X plus 2 into x plus 2, which will be what? x squared plus 2 times x is what? 2x. S times 2 is what? 2x. 2 times 2 is what? 4, right? What do you get? X squared plus 4x plus 4. This 4 now is what? It's a constant term. Or you can say the term independent of x. Let me not write too much. So how do you find it? It's the same principle we followed in coefficient. It's just that at the end of the day, what happens? You will now equate x to power whatever your simplification is, and then you relate it with x to power 0. Because in this case now, this x squared plus 4x plus 4 can still be written as what? X squared plus 4x plus 4x to the power what? 0. Because x0 is what? 1. So where the power of x is what? 0. So let's say this question comes up to you in the exam and you're asked to find the constant term. If I give you x squared plus 1 over x squared to the power 10, the question says constant term. What's the constant term? What will you do? This is CBTO. Don't waste time. What happens? 10 combination k x squared to the power what? 10 minus k multiplied by what? 1 over x squared to the power what? K. Are you following? So now you can see that there is x here and there is x here, right? So if you simplify the x here to give you what? 2 into 10 minus k is what? 2 times 10 is what? 20. 2 times minus k is minus 2k. Are you getting it? 1 to the power k will give you 1. X squared raised to the power k will give you what? X to the power what? 2k. I hope you are not lost. This is what I'm doing now. 2 times 10, 20. 2 times negative k, negative 2k. Now using division law, what will you have? X to the power 20 minus 2k minus 2k, which will be what? X to the power 20 minus 4k. So this x to the power 20 minus 4k now, you should compare it with what? X to the power 0, because you want to find that value of k for which the coefficient of x will be 0. So that means you equate 20 minus 4k to what? 0. Negative 4k moves to the right, and you will now have that 4k or 20 equal to 4k, right? Which is divided through by 4. You can see that k is what? 5. Do you understand? Then you move over, and what do you then do? 10 combination what? 5 x squared to the power what? 5, because that's 10 minus 5 into what? Sorry, 1 over x squared to the power 5, because that's what it's here. 10 combination 5 into what? X raised to the power 10. 1 over x squared raised to the power 5 is x raised to the power 10. So you can now see that at this point it cancels. You will not have any x. So the answer is simply what? 10 combination 5. And I'm sure you should be able to find 10 combination 5. Now what is it? 10 factorial over 5 factorial 5 factorial, right? Which is 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 factorial. And then on simplifying that, this we can, so you know that 5 factorial is 120, abi? Whatever it is, you find the value. But if it's an exam, you won't start finding the value because that will waste your time. So you may just see 10 combination 5 in the options. Are you following? That's it. Now let's take another. But there's something important I want to tell you here. If you notice in this question that says x squared plus 1 over x squared to the power 10, have you noticed that in any binomial expansion, when you are sharing the powers, they must add up to this. You can see this 5 and this 5 must add up to give you what? It must add up to give you 10. Have you noticed it? So that's where the trick comes. So if you're giving x squared plus 1 over x squared, you don't want to go through the process I just went through. What you just do is to raise this to the power of what? A. Raise this to the power of what? B. Let me write it out. X squared. Sorry. Excuse me. So that will be plus 1 over x squared to the power b, which is the same thing as 1 over x to the power what? 2b. Are you getting it? And then to the power 10. So what is actually happening here? Because you are actually, your main goal is actually to look for those values, the value of k, such that from there you now get it. So what do? You notice that what we're actually doing is x to the power 2a over x to the power 2b. And in this case, what was our a? It was 10 minus k. Look here now. Did we not raise x squared to something? And then we raised x squared to another, to just k. Do you understand? So in this case, it will be this 10 minus k will be a and this will be b. So that is what applies here. Don't get confused. Watch. So x to the power 2a from this, because we don't know what a is, we don't know what b is. These are just constants. So x to the power 2a divided by x to the power 2b is what? 2a minus 2b. And at the end of the day, they should be equal to 0. Because the powers must cancel. 2a minus 2, x raised to the power 2a minus 2b should be equal to what? X raised. You know what is the end point? So that this is what we have. And then the second equation will now be that the sum of a and b, remember that we raised it to what? 10 minus k, and we raise this one to k. 10 minus k plus k is what? Is 10. So that means a plus b should be equal to what? Should be equal to 10. So if you now want to solve this simultaneous equation, you have 2a plus 2b is equal to what? 20, because I'm multiplying through by 2. Then add the equation 1 and 2, add this and this, you have what? 4a minus 2b plus 2b will cancel, you have what? 20. That means a is 5. And if a is 5, that means b is 5. The value of b gives you the value of what? K. That now gives you what you will use. Let me use it practically again, another example, so that you master it. So let's say you are asked in exam to find the constant term in the expansion of 3p squared over 2 minus 1 over 3p to the power 9. If this comes up, don't get scared. What did you follow? What I just said now. This p, we are not concerned with any other value. Your focus is on p. So this p squared now will be raised to what? A. And this p here now will be raised to what? To b. Are you following? In the other case, what we had is x squared and x squared. That's why we now have 2a minus 2b. But in this case, it's p squared here and just p here. So what can you say? First of all, you can see that a plus b will be what? 9. Because the sum of the powers distributed must equal to what? 9. And then the other thing here now is that 2a, because this is p to power 2a and this is what? P to power b. So what's p to power 2a divided by p to power b? Is what? 2a minus b equal to 0, because p must cancel out, right? Because the highest power of p should be what? Should be 0. So if you solve this, you can add equation 1 and 2. A plus 2a is what? 3a. B plus b minus b is what? 0. That means a is 3 and b is what? 6. This b value gives you what k is, because remember that the expansion says summation of what? From k equal to 0 to what? N of what? X to the power what? Sorry, n combination k, x to the power n minus k multiplied by what? Y to power k. So the value resting on this, on the right hand side, gives you, so b is equal to 6, which is equal to k. So what you can simply do is 9 combination. Are you following? 9 combination 6, 3p squared over 2 to the power what? 3 multiplied by what? Negative 1 over 3p to the power what? 6. Very simple. So what's this? 9 combination 6, we don't have to bother yet. So if you simplify this now, 3 cube is what? 27. So that's 27. P squared raised to power 3 is what? P6 over 2 raised to power 3 is what? 8 times negative 1 to power 6. Since n is even, since this is even, it will give us 1 over 3 raised to power 6 is what? I think that should be 729, right? That's 729 P6. So you can see that this and this will not cancel. Are you getting it? So you have 9 combination 6 times 27 all over 8 times 729. And then when you simplify, whatever you get is the answer. 9 combination 6, you should be able to get it now, right? So That's simply all you need. And I don't know if check 729 divided by 27 is what? 27, because the square root of 729 is 27. So this can actually cancel to give you this. Then what's 27 times 8? 7 times 8 56. 6 carry 5. 8 times 2 16. That's 216. So your final answer, they may put it like this in exam as 1 over 216, because I've simplified this. So 9 combination 6, that is the constant term. And then if it's easy for you to get 9 combination 6, no problem, but be fast about it, right? So what I just told you now, I want you to find the constant term in the expansion of x squared plus 1 over x to the power 9. Pause the video and attempt, please. This is a very important concept. Have you paused it? Okay. So if you now follow what I said, we can raise this towards a and we can raise this towards to b. That means that 2a minus b, because this is x to power b, this is x to power 2a. So x to power 2a divided by x to power 2b, x to power b, sorry, that's that x to power 2a divided by x to power b, are you following, will be equal to what? X raised to power 0. Are you getting it? So 2a minus b will be equal to what? 0, because at the end of the day x must cancel out. Then what's the next thing? That a plus b is what? 9. The sum of these exponents that you will carry is what? Is 9. So 2a plus a is what? 3a. 0 plus 9 is what? 9. That means a is equal to 9 divided by 3, which is 3. And then what is b? Remember I said the b value that will help you get it is what? 6. So what will you do? 9 combination 6. Alright? X squared, because that's the first component. X squared to the power 9 minus 6 multiplied by what? What's the other part? 1 over x, right? 1 over x to the power what? 6. Are you getting it? So 9 combination 6. I don't think 9 combination 6 should be hard. That's 9 factorial over 6 factorial 3 factorial. Anyway, and then that'll be x. 9 minus 6 is what? 3. Right? So that's x squared to the power 3. And then 1 over x to the power 6 is 1 over x 6. So you can see that this and this will cancel. So it's simply 9 combination 6. Are you following? So 9 factorial is what? 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 what? Factorial. I can stop there. That's 6 factorial 3 factorial. This cancels this. 3 factorial is equal to what? Is equal to 6, isn't it? So with that, what now happens? 3 can go here with 2. Right? 3 can go here with 3. 2 into itself 1. That's what? 4. 2 into 8 4. 3 times 4 is what? 12 times 7. So 9 combination 6 is what? 84. That is the constant term. Are you getting it? Let me take one more. So let's say we're given this. I want you to pause the video and attempt Biko. Please. 2x minus 1 over x squared to the power 12. What will you have? What's the high? This, you raise this to what? A. And you raise this to what? B. Are you getting it? So what will you have? A minus 2b. Because that's the same as x to the power a over x to the power what? 2b. Because that's what happens when you're simplifying. It should be equal to what? 0. And that a plus b. This is 2x minus 1 over x squared to the power what? 12. So a plus b should be equal to 12. So if you solve this simultaneously, you can multiply equation 2 by what? 12. And it will become 2a plus 2b is equal to what? 24. This is now equation 3. So if you add equation 1 and equation 3, a plus 2a is 3a. Minus 2b plus 2b is 0. 0 plus 24 is what? 24. That means a is equal to 24 over 3, which is what? 8. And what is b? Remember that a plus b is 12. So if a is 8, that means b is 4. So what will you now have as that constant term? Sorry for that. So what will you now have? 12 combination 4. And then what follows? 2x, which is the first component, the power what? 12 minus 4, which is 8. And then what's the second component? Negative 1 over s squared. Negative 1 over s squared to the power what? 4. Let's do this fast. So what we'll have is 12 combination 4 2 to the power 8 x 8, right? Because 2 to the power 8 x to the power 8 multiplied by negative 1 to the power 4 will give us 1, right? X squared to the power 4. 2 times 4 is what? 8. So you cannot see that this and this will cancel. So 2 to the power 8 will give you what? 256, right? So your answer can be 256 times 12 combination 4. Whatever the value of 12 combination 4 is, you get it. But in exam, you may just see this in your options. 256 12 combination 4. Do you get? That is the answer to it. Do you understand? Now, this is my last question on this, and then we call this video to a close. X cubed plus 2 over x to the power 8. If you ask in the exam, the independent term of this expansion is what? You don't have time. So raise this to a, raise this to b, isn't it? So you now have that 3a minus b is equal to what? 8. And that a plus b is equal to what? Sorry, is equal to 0, because at the end of the day, the divisions as x power 3 over x power b, which is from here and here, should be equal to x raised to power 0, because we are looking for the term independent of x. That means that a plus b is what? Is 8. Very good. So adding equation 1 and equation 2, 3a plus a is what? 4a. Minus b plus b is what? 0. 0 plus 8 is what? 8. That means a is equal to 8 over 4, which is what? 2, right? And if a is 2, that means b is what? 6, because a plus b is 8. So b is what? 6. So what will now be the constant term or the independent term? To be 8 combination 6. Then take the components, x cubed to the power what? 8 minus 6. 8 minus 6 is what? 2. Multiplied by what? 2 over x, which is the second component, to the power of this, which is what? 6. Then on simplification, sorry for that, 8 combination 6 is what? 8 factorial over what? 8 minus 6, can write it as 2 factorial 6 factorial, multiplied by x to the power 3 to the power 2. X cubed to the power 2 is x to the power 6, right? Because 3 times 2 is 6. Then 2 to the power 6 is what? Is 64. Right? Over 2 raised to the power 6 is 64. X raised to the power 6 is x raised to the power 6. So this cancels this. Are you getting it? So you can now simplify 8 combination 6 as what? 8 times 7 times 6 factorial over 2 factorial 6 factorial times what? 64. This cancels this. 2 factorial is 2. 2 into yourself what? 2 into 8 is what? 4. 4 times 7 is what? 28. 28 times 64 is what? Solve that. That should not be something that would delay.